Hi there guys, and welcome to another ATS TS Controllers hardware first look. Today we're talking about the door control panel. This one's actually fitted with a DRA. We'll go into that in a second as well. This project's been in the works since the AWS plunger design was finished, and Dan from TS Controllers, along with us and a very dedicated team of testers, have been working really hard on providing the correct feedback to ensure that we get give you guys a bit more of a superior simulation experience. We talk about immersion a lot, don't we? And we've said that lots and lots with the hardware stuff. But this box gave me something that I'll be honest, I wasn't massively keen on the idea of a door control panel box when the idea was there. Dog's gonna bark now, but we'll ignore her. But as I started using it, I started noticing that I was using things like the DRA, the door open and close buttons. I found myself using my DRA switch. I found myself opening and closing buttons. I found myself driving more professionally. I found myself going into neutral with the power brake controller and then using the door control panel box properly. Our aim with a range of controllers is to have a modular system whereby users can buy what you feel is right for you and what suits you best, really. I'm not expecting everybody to go, I need a door control panel box because you're selling one. No, that's not what they're about. This isn't something that everybody's going to need. This isn't something that everybody's going to want. This is something that's there if you do want it and you do want to go and buy it and you want to enlarge your collection of cab control products. This is the next one on the list. So with that in mind, and it being a modular system and everything like that, this comes in two models. There is this model here, which has the DRA switch. This lights up properly, correctly, and turns the right way and everything like that. And then there is the same box, same layout, but just without the DRA switch. These are, I think, they put the price up by about £15. We'll go into pricing properly in a bit. The boxes themselves the same as the AWS boxes. The colour might vary slightly, we've noticed that in a few batches, but apart from that, they're pretty much the same. You've still got your sticky feet on the bottom and all of that jazz. I'm going to stop waffling now and just check my script. I'm going to stop waffling and we're going to go and try this out and show you this working with a few trains in Train Simulator itself. Catch you then. Right, so now we're in the shed. You have the door control panel next to us here. The camera is now on it. I just have this on a very cheap Poundland iPad stand. It's just because it fits on my desk that way. A lot of people will have it flat like that. I have it up on this little stand. It just sits on there quite nicely for me. So I'm going to do a little bit of this train. We're going to go from here at Orpington to I think it's at Paddock Wood next. Just to show off some of the how the box is working, and then I'm going to show you it on some different trains. So I'll do probably like the S8, the 313, and then I'll show you it on like a loco that doesn't necessarily have like door open and close buttons, but shows that the box still works for that sort of train. I'll go through sort of some of the features and pricing list and everything like that as well, probably during this bit of it, and then we'll go through and show you some clips of it working with other trains. So we're in our cab now. I'm also using the PBC, but you guys can't see that because controller cam has changed. You'll see we've got the AWS bots there. Blah, 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 blah. I will also go through the software to start with. This is probably going to be the best thing to do. So before you start your game, all you have to do is start up good old Train Sim in its best way. And then if I put that on and move that to the top, what I'm hoping now is you will now be able to see the software. So this is just, you have it plugged in your USB, have this on your shortcut to this on your desktop, and this is what you'll be greeted with when you come in. It is incredibly simple. The software has been worked on so hard that it is just plug and play. The only things you have to fiddle with are things that you want to customize yourself. So straight out of the box, straight away plugging this in, this will just work. You can see here that it's already picked what train we have. It does that for us. It finds out what it is, it decides what it can and can't work with, and it sort of tells you then and there what it's working with. At the moment, I've got closed left doors, closed right doors, and guards buzzer bell. With this, if I look down here, each one of these can be reprogrammed. They're not the most exciting things in the world, but they're just things that are pretty much generic through trains, through each different train in Train Sim. Trying to do things like lights and things like that, it's possible, but it's just so much more complex, and it wouldn't be something that would be doing with the door panel itself. So I'm going to leave the left and right doors as they are, because of course I'm driving in DOO mode, so driver only operation. If I have a guard on my service, let me just make this clear to you as well, I'll still be able to open the doors, but I won't close them. Okay, so still in DOO mode, you can still open the doors. Or not in DOO, in guard mode, you can still open the doors. So I'm going to change my middle one to DSD for this run. So that now means that my DSD is now on this button here. Okay, so all 7 lights on here illuminate, plus the DRA. In here you've got settings, so I can actually adjust the brightness of my door interlock lights. One thing you'll notice, and I will say for users out there at the minute watching this video, is that the camera picks up these buttons as a bit orange. They're not, they're bright red. But for some reason mine's not too bad, but my phone camera and my iPad camera pick them up as quite orange for some strange reason. Debug you guys won't need to worry about unless you are asked to do that by any of the support team, and then about will tell you your updates and bits and pieces like that. What this will do is automatically check for an update every time it starts up, and if it has one, it will pop up in this bit up here. It will say new update available, do you want to download it? And you click yes. You leave it for about 20 seconds, it does its thing, and you're ready to rock and roll. The only thing to remember is don't unplug it while it's updating. That would be a pretty daft idea, but that's all you've really got to remember. Up the top here, and I will go into this, I'll show you a bit of Train Sim World as well, is the compatibility for Train Sim World. This is limited. Okay, this is very, very limited at the moment. When they bring out the interface for the joystick stuff with TSW2, we will be able to integrate stuff an awful lot more, but at the moment it's quite basic. I will show you and go through how that works later on in the video, so bear with me. So we'll keep it on Train Simulator as we are now. Everything else is set up for us. We've got left door close, right door close, and DSD on our central button. So I can now get rid of that. Plop you back over there. Unpause the game, and we can get going. Right, first thing I'm going to need to do is turn my train on. There we go. DRA set. So DRA. Simple as that. Right, so I have right hand side, so my right doors need opening. If you watch the door release buttons down here now, that's done both. I'm pushing both buttons at the same time, so just like in a real train, you are pressing both buttons. Pushing one button will not work, you need to push both. Right, and that's pretty much where we're at the moment, until we need to move off or do anything again. Let me just make sure I've got my controller in step 3. So, one of the big things that we need to talk about is the pricing. So, there are 2 variants of this. There is the box with the DRA switch, and there is one without the DRA switch. With the DRA switch is $94.99 including UK shipping. The non-DRA version is $79.99 including UK shipping. If you are a subscriber to AlanThompsonSim.com, so if you have a live subscription, you'll get your 10% off on this. So this will mean that the DRA version with the subscription will be $85.49 and the non-DRA version will be $71.99. So it comes with a hardware panel, fully featured software to get you going straight away out the box. The software's been finalised and the documentation is precise second as we're going on about this now. So we should be hopefully releasing this week with this lovely box, which I'm really actually very, 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 very pleased with. the subscriber discount we've managed to get for you guys that are already subscribers to the website. It makes it well worth value. For you. It means that was really badly said. Let me try Englishing here. It adds to your subscription value basically massively, and trying to keep these sub discounts going with the hardware stuff has been really tricky, but we've managed it, and we're hoping to be able to offer the same with the combined traction brake controllers, power brake controllers as well. So the range should work out a decent bit cheaper if you are already a subscriber over on alanthomsonsim.com. So if you're not, go and do the right thing. It's going to be worth it in the end. That's worth it now, but it'll be worth it in the end with the modular stuff as well. Right, okay, my platform duties are complete. So now I am going to need to close my right-hand side doors. So to do that, I just press my blue door close button. And then I should get my interlock lights, and then my interlock lights will come on there. I can then take my DRA off, set myself into forward, and then we're going to make our way to, it's Petswood, not Paddockwood, Petswood in a mile. Okay, so features, it's got 7 tactile illuminated buttons, an optional illuminated DRA switch. That's what we're saying, the DRA switch is an option. There is one without and one with. It provides separate door opening controls, door close, and buzzer and guard spell. I'm speeding, that's not a very good sign, but I'm blurbing on. So the door open buttons and door interlock buttons light up to replicate the in-cab controls. This is supported for most trains. There is a matrix, a support matrix that shows you exactly what features will work with exactly what train is out there. Dan and Dom have been working on that. That's still being added to as we speak. So some things you might find that the door open buttons work absolutely fine and the interlock light works, but because that train in-game, so say you picked a train in-game that does not have door close feature, this will not make it have door close feature. The buttons will still light up as they should, but that's about it. It won't make you get features from trains that don't already have it. So it's full support for most trains in Train Simulator 2020, 64-bit, including Armstrong Powerhouse, Just Trains add-ons. Full list of compatibility add-ons is coming, as I said, very, very soon. The lower buttons I showed you earlier, they're configurable for alternative uses, including DSD, Sander, Cab Light, DRA. It includes easy-to-use setup interface software compatible with Windows 10. So that's what I showed you. That's the box, the software bit I showed you earlier. Interlock button brightness, showed you that. Durable AWS plastic enclosure with anti-slip feet, shows you them in the preview bit. Limited door control usage for Train Sim World. Full support for TSW2 aimed for a future release. That is on the cards. Controls automatically work with Train Simulator. No complicated user configuration needed. I cannot stress this enough how plug and play this is. And this isn't just emulating keyboard presses. The AWS box emulated a Q press. But this works with the API system within Train Simulator to mean that we have much better and finer control. So it's not just emulating a keyboard, which is really nice. It's fully updatable software and firmware, providing updates, fixes, and new features. And these can be done automatically. So this isn't something that you're going to have to faff with or wait for things to, like, it's not complicated to update it, basically, is the bottom line of it. It's less complex than updating your mobile phone. Love the sounds on this thing. But anyway, we're not here for the sounds, we're here for the door box. Right, okay, so I'm in step 3. I came in on a yellow, so I'm going to set my DRA. And then I am going to, again, release my doors. Now I haven't set my headlights up. So it's feature stacked. the software is it's one of my favourite bits about the whole thing, really. The hardware's lovely to play with. Don't get me wrong, hardware's my thing. But the software is just really intuitive. It's a very, 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 very clever thing. Right, so I can close my doors now. I don't even have to be in the cab to get interlock. Look, I have interlock. Into forward. So you get the gist of it. Let's move on to driving something else. Let's see what we've got. Right, so you join me now in a class 170. One thing I'm going to do first is remember that the 170 is guard controlled. Okay, so I'm going to look back at my bit of software. I'm going to pull that back out. And remember I had the guards buzzer, this middle bit of one here set as DSD. Well, I can keep that as DSD, but I'm going to need the guards buzzer as well, and so what I would rather do is put the centre one to guards buzzer and bell and use my right door close button as my DSD. That's all I have to do. And now when I set this train up, when I get that in the right place, I should, in theory, if I turn my DSD on, I now have my DSD. So again, you can see on here that it illuminates and shows me what buttons are being pressed. Okay, and because I've had that on there and it's moved it, so we'll put that back to DSD. It's hard because I've got the recording software going on. It's all in multiple layers, so I've got to be clicked back on the game for it to press anything properly. So, right, DRA, it's on, so let's keep that on. And right hand side doors open. Interlock lights gone out on the desk. We have our red lights on here to show us that that's open. With the DRA like that, if you do come into the game and it's the wrong way around, I always suggest starting it with the DRA on. It's clever enough to sort of pick that up with most trains, so it'll pick it up mostly. It won't need you to fiddle about with it, but it can't manually change the position of the switch. So I always tend to start it with the DRA on. When I start up train sim, DRA on. Every time I swap trains, DRA on. Right, that's my doors closed. My interlock lights I have just been given the go ahead for. So we then have guards buzzer. I have the guards buzzer. DSD. Let's cancel you as well. DRA off. Into forward. We're in forward. And we can now pull away. Oh, I've also just noticed you're getting. I've done it well. I knew it was a Coach Peterborough, but I forgot we've got the new specular rails in on the routes. You've seen them for the first time as well. So again, it's just like that with the guard stuff. I'm on guards buzzer, and then my DSD with those. So what does it do for me? It adds immersion. As always, it adds immersion. It's the bit that I really like. Like I say in the intro video, it helps me to drive like a more professional driver, if I'm honest. He says speeding out of the way, but yeah, when I'm concentrating, it helps me drive more professionally. That means my station stops are more precise because I try and make sure I get everything right. I've just sort of fallen in love with it. I've had it for such a long time now that it's sort of second nature. And that's what I want it to become for you guys as well, that you get that sort of level of immersion and it just becomes second nature for you. So very rarely are you back using the keyboard these days. Your hands are all in the different places and on the controllers. And this is what I wanted from Train Sim. And TS Controllers and Dan, they've just made this possible in a really, really easy, user-friendly way. And not only that, for a cracking price as well, and an even better price if you're a subscriber to the website. So yeah, I mean, I'm biased. I love it. I'll wait. You can wait if you want a review of it. You can wait for other people to come and review it. I'm just giving you a sort of first look at it, really. Right, let's jump into something else. Let's jump into something. Let's do the S8 stock, shall we? Let's have a look at that. Right then, S8 stock. So I have to move that to see when I come out of pause. It's quite annoying. I should have really probably thought of that, but I didn't. S8 stock. This has open and closable doors, no DRA. So we can open our doors now. We're getting those there. We're getting our lights. Our lights are lighting up on here. And of course, our doors are open on the outside. So this is where this box really comes into its element, is things like underground commuter stuff, metro, things that you're doing a lot of door open and closing for, some of the suburban stuff as well. It just really adds not only to your workload, because it's really easy just pressing the button on the keyboard, but having that tactical feeling of actually pushing proper buttons as hard as you can, as properly as you should be. So like now with the door closed, we want to press that and get going. So you're going to make sure you're ready to do it. When we say that, oh, you know what I've done? Remember to do this. Close doors right. There's our doors closed on the right hand side. So we could now, if we wanted to, I mean, I'm not massively a great big driver of this, but that's what we'd now be doing. So with a lot of your stop-start, that's how your S8 stock stuff will work. You've got your interlocks, you've got your open, you've got your closes. Just make sure if you've had it in something else that you change it back over when you move to a different train. My bad. I've done that a few times. Unfortunately, if you could set something manually like that, the software won't automatically change it back because you've overridden it. So it's quite good luck in that sense. Right, what should we show off next? 156, I think. Right, so we're relatively quick with the 156. It's not massively any different to what we've already seen. Just wanted to show it off. So we will need to... There we go. Key on. Stick it into neutral. Cancel that. Instrument lights on. Tail lights off. Headlights up. So that is this unit ready to go. I can now open my doors, and because it's a guard service, it's guard operated, so we've got it that way. So there's not masses to show off with the 156. You can see how some of them, with even with the doors open with this, because we haven't got the door open lights. The door open lights aren't on there, so it does what it needs to do. But it's pretty cool. TSW2, let's try that. Right then, TSW2. So if I am going to be asked to unlock the doors, this isn't perfect. So when we say limited working with TSW2, what we really tried to eliminate was the having to press tab and go through all that faff. It's not perfect, but it does work. So all I now have to do is that. And my doors are open. Which is very nice. Which is very nice. I don't know if they lock yet or not yet. I haven't tried it. This is this is the latest version of the software that I haven't had a go with yet. So let's see. Can we lock doors with it? We can lock doors with it. So there we go. Turn you off. And we shall make a move. If I can. I've already pressed it. There we go. Shonky. I haven't played it enough yet. But you get the gist of it. It works for the doors. I'm not going to go into TSW2. Let's not go down that rabbit hole, guys. Let's not go down that rabbit hole. So, while we're here, for those that like the German stuff, this is us on the ICE3. We are going to unlock our doors. I don't know if it's done it on this one yet. Right, so I don't know if it unlocks on that one. Let's try that one again now. I clicked on it. There we go. Yeah, it does unlock the doors. So it will do that. I've just got to be clicked on the game again because of my multiple layer thing. That's why that didn't work first time. So the software's pretty savvy. It knows what it's doing. It's pretty clever. So it will work on your TSW2020 stuff, and it will work in TSW2 for your door open and closes. It does get rid of one of my big bugbears, which is that really clunky door menu. I know you can press the buttons on the desk and stuff, but sometimes it's just easier. Right, so locking the doors.
Schließvorgang eingeleitet.
And that's us locked with interlock. Right, I'm going to do a little run of something and go through the FAQ. So this should answer a lot of the questions you might have had already throughout the video. So I hope you've still been watching to this point. So join me in the next little section, and we shall be driving something for more than about 2 minutes. Right, so you join me now in a 313 at Welwyn Garden City. I'm going to set it up and then I'm going to go through the FAQ with you guys, just so you've got a better idea of some of the words I've used, like firmware and that sort of thing, just to sort of really sort of make it as easy as possible for you guys to understand what's going on. Let me just get started with this. Right, so I need to make sure this is in guard mode. Sorry, driver only mode, not guard mode. DRA is on. DRA is on. Let's get our doors open. Let's get our headlight on. Let's turn the tails off. And our markers. Is there a button key for markers on the 313? I never remember. That instrument lights, we want those on. Marker lights on. And then we will need to set, no, we have line light, 25 kilovolt ACs. Check our pans up. Yep. Okay, cool. Right, so doors closed. Interlock lights. Perfect. DRA off, into forward. Now, do I have... Yeah, we have some control here. But I don't have the power handle to work. Oh, no! I knew this wouldn't be set up right. Never is with a 313, is it? And then set, reset. What have I not done? DRA's off. Set, reset, in, off. Oh, do you know, I picked the 313 and I should have actually tested this scenario before we did it to make sure we were there. Right. Oh, I don't know what it's going to be. It's because I've got my brake on full. What an idiot. Yeah, we're good. So, FAQ. Let's have a look at that, shall we? I'm going to be really rubbish at driving because I'm going to be reading the FAQ at the same time. Is there a minimum computer specification required? If you run Train Sim and you're running 64-bit and you're running Windows 10 and you have a free USB port, then it will run. That's the bottom line of that one for you. Is there any setup or configuration required? The door panel has been designed to work straight out of the box. After installing the included software, no complex setup of configuration or each train is required. This has all been done for you. So you don't have to configure anything apart from the customization options that you would like. And you don't even have to use those if you don't want to. Next bit is, does it work with all add-ons such as Armstrong Powerhouse and Just Trains? The answer to this is generally yes. The software has been specifically programmed and tested to work with most UK add-ons and also many worldwide trains. Every week new add-ons are tested and added to the compatibility matrix, which can be found on the website when it's there. It's not going to be up yet because none of the other blurb's up yet. Does it work with TrainSim World 2? Well, we've been through this, haven't we? But let's go through it again. Partially. The door panel box is programmed to use keyboard commands to open and close the doors on TSW and TSW2. The panel lights turn on/off depending on which buttons you press. It is effectively only acting as a keyboard emulator, so it works, but the lights can get out of sync with TSW, and there is no programming interface feedback, unlike in TrainSim 2020. Dovetail Games have said they'll support external controllers in a future release of TSW2. When that is ready, the controller should be fully compatible. So unlike with TrainSim Classic, there is no API for the box to get feedback with. So just in TrainSim World and TrainSim World 2, it acts as just a keyboard emulator. But in TrainSim World and in TrainSim Classic, it doesn't. It's got its own API. How about external controller support in TSW2? Dovetail Games have announced it. That's what we're saying. It should be enabled to enable two-way controller support, and as soon as that's in, we will get it in. Does this work on console? Going to be a big question. No. Unfortunately not, as the provided software is required for the interfacing of it. So even with TSW2 or TSW2020, it won't work on console. Maybe when they update the interface for TSW2, there might be something we can do there, but I'm not saying anything about that yet. We don't know. What does the included software do? The software included with the door panel hardware provides the interfacing between the hardware, which is this box here, and Train Simulator 2020. This software has been programmed and developed for an easy-to-use experience, meaning the unit should work straight out of the box with all of your favourite add-ons without any need for complicated setup or configuration. The software also provides other features such as button brightness for adjustment, auto updates, and downloads for newer versions. Stop at Hatfield. What does each button and switch do? So, the unit contains 7 illuminated buttons and an operational DRA rotary switch. Only if you buy the one with the DRA. There are 2 versions of this, remember. Each provides illuminated feedback, such as interlock status or doors open, just like in a real cab. Door open buttons, these are up here. These require both to be pressed at the same time, just like in real life for confirmation. The door close buttons, these work on trains which allow it. So like I said earlier, it's not going to give you door close feature on trains that don't already have it in game. But if you're using a train that doesn't do that, again, you can reprogram to DSD, Sander, Cab Light, or Driver Guards buzzer. You've then got the signal bell buzzer button. This does the ding dings if you're running in guard mode, like we've already seen. Then you've got the DRA rotary switch, which we have already shown off. Does it need an internet connection? Not an always-on one. Not normally, no. An internet connection is required if you want to use the automatic updates of the software firmware. And I've stopped well short on this platform. What is firmware? Firmware is the software or programming code inside the door control panel itself. It may be updated occasionally to provide new features or improvements. So that's the software that's running inside the box, not the software that's running on your computer, but what's inside the box. That's the firmware. How long is the warranty? The door control panel comes with a 1-year return to base warranty. So it means return to base means that if you send it back to us, we fix it. The unit's hand-picked high-quality components, with the push buttons, for example, being rated for a life of 1 million presses. That's pretty good. We haven't cheaped out on the parts on this, I'll promise you that. Where is the unit made? Another interesting question. All TS controllers and Thomson Sim hardware products are proudly handmade in the UK and are small batches. This ensures quality and reliability. So this is not being manufactured in China somewhere or by a factory somewhere and we're just flogging them on. These are custom built, basically. Well, these are arranged, they're not custom, but they are designed by us, sold by us. That's basically how it works. So us being TS controllers and ATS, TS controllers do most of the hard work. I'll be honest. Right, let's get my doors closed. Next question. When are other products such as the power brake controller being released? The development of the PBC is in an advanced stage, although no firm release dates have been set yet. Other products will be researched when the PBC development is complete. So yes, we're really looking forward to announcing some newer products. As soon as we've got the last of the ones we've announced already out the door, you will start seeing trickles of what we've got planned after that, and it is exciting. I'm having problems with the hardware software. What should I do? Firstly, don't worry. We're here to support you. Send us a message using the contact us on the website. That goes directed. That will go through one of our support team first. If it's something that Dan needs to get involved with, that will go straight through to Dan as well. So we will have you back up and running ASAP. That is realistically the FAQ. I'm sure you guys will have more questions. So please do stick them in the comments below. That's going to be the best place for you to get a bit of answers. Now, also, the Facebook group's quite good. Streams, if you head over to Twitch when we're streaming, Dan's usually in there as well, so we can answer the questions we can. Make sure you've watched the video before you go, does this work on console? No, because I've answered that. How much is it? I've answered it. When's it coming out? This week, fingers crossed, all being well. When this video goes up, it should be either just around the corner or already out. So yeah, now you've seen it in game, let's wrap this video up and get you back playing Train Sim or doing what you'd usually be doing at this time of day. Right then guys, there you have it. The Alan Thomson Sim TS controllers door control panel. Hopefully by the time you're watching this video, this will be launched. If it isn't, it will be launched very soon after, so you'll be able to get your hands on these yourself. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys think of these, how you use them, how much of a difference it makes to your immersion in Train Simulator. I understand they're not for everybody, but they are for those that are really into their Train Sim stuff and do this sort of driving that this sort of box can assist with. I need to say a massive thank you to Dan from TS Controls and all of the testing team that have been involved in this. It's been a slog of a project, with the software being one of the best bits of software I've seen created for Train Sim in a long time, so big shout out to Dan. I'm going to stop waffling on, leave you guys here. Thank you very much for watching. Head on over to AlanThomsonSim.com for all the up-to-date news on these, and when we're ready for you to purchase them, they'll be there ready for you to buy. Fingers crossed you do. So yeah, catch you next time guys.